Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are on a descent trajectory here, and you might wonder, how did we get there? Well, it wasn't very complicated. I just lowered the periapsis and put us into a descent trajectory here, and the reason why we are here is because we've been having some bug issues. We had an issue on the original attempt at recording this, where the vehicle was just destroyed, completely randomly. We impacted nothing at all, it just ceased to exist. So that's why we are where we are. But what I have learned is that it is not very effective, the parachutes. We do want to have the parachutes, for sure. But there's been some significant bugs that we've run into on this so far. So things are a little bit wonky right now. We're going to try this again, and hopefully we don't have any issues. But we've definitely had some problems with the vehicle getting randomly destroyed. So I'm going to arm all of these chutes for right now. We're not going to deploy them just yet. Also, note that I have retracted the solar panels. So let's arm all of these guys. So that's a chute here. Is that all of them armed? I am not sure. This one. Okay, I thought that was a third one that needed to be armed. Okay, so sometime around... Well, actually, around now, I want to change our overall trajectory here. We are in atmosphere a little bit right now, but I want to change our trajectory just a smidge and bring us out over this way. Okay, something about like this or so. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Then I'm going to move us back to retrograde, and we need to bring this in a little bit. The Duna atmosphere is extremely thin, and we're not going to get very much aerobraking. We're going to have to do a braking burn, I found out, because we will have a little bit of an overheat issue on our docking port here. We discovered that shortly before the vehicle just completely ceased to exist. This was unrelated to the vehicle completely ceasing to exist, to be clear. It claimed we were impacted by unknown object. So there's that. Let's bring this in a little bit. We're going to want to be moving a little slower, and I want to be targeting like the very edge of this crater for right now. Yeah, something along the lines of this. That looks decent. Now, we are in atmosphere right now, and that's absolutely fine. I do want to go around, and I want to set these deploy settings to be, like, maximum. This is Duna we're talking about, so that's going to need to happen for all of these. So 1, 2, 3, and then we would need the fourth one here. This one. Yes. And we can deploy all of these. I would like to deploy them sooner rather than later, and we'll deploy them as soon as they are available. That was only 2 of them that we hit the deploy button on. So 1, 2, I just want to be sure that we get all of them. 3, 4. Okay, so that should be fine, and we are cruising our way over. This is our landing destination right up over here. Let's bump it up into speed 4. And fingers crossed that we don't have any more random issues. I've been running into a lot of bugs in KSP2 still, to be honest. There have been quite a large number of them, and it's been enough that I've been thinking about not doing the full based series, unfortunately. We'll see how that progresses, but I'm thinking about it. That's for sure. So we're heading in here. There's a fair amount of air between us and the ground. And we are still increasing our orbital velocity. I want to be in surface mode at this point, though, to be honest. And we can see our surface velocity is increasing at this moment. That is reasonably fine. I don't think this stage is necessary. There's not anything in it. So that seems reasonably fine. Yeah, we can see that this heat gauge is building up here. And that means that we need to do a burn here to slow ourselves down at least a little bit. And yeah, I'm watching this positioning here. I'm keeping that burn pretty gentle, although Rip. Well, this docking port is now gone. The decoupler under it is what burns off. So we don't have access to that docking port, so at this point we're going to need a grapple. What is happening? We're controlling the docking port, aren't we? We are. Why can't we SAS? SAS is off right now. Okay. Weird. It decided to control the docking port instead. Okay. So we slowed down a little bit there. We can see that we are going to be landing currently on the far side of the monument. That's fine. I'm watching our surface speed here. Yeah, so losing that decoupler is certainly awkward. The Poodle engine here should still be functional, I think. In theory. And yes, our delta V calculations are completely wacky at this moment. No doubt about that. So we're just going to continue to head in here. We're waiting for the chutes to deploy here. They should all be armed at this point. So 0.75 kilopascals is when it wants to deploy them. I'm going to get out the landing gear. And we're still cruising in here. Now you can see we are decelerating due to aero braking at this time. Losing this component is awkward, but it's not the end of the world necessarily. Although it might make refueling very strange. Since Kerbal construction isn't a thing that exists. We should probably commence our landing burn very, very soon here. I'm going to start it now. Yep. Okay, so chutes should be going out fairly soon, in theory. You gonna deploy chutes? There they go. So there goes the chutes. And we're continuing our landing burn for now. The chutes will slow us down some and save us some amount of DV. We can see this is actually slowing down pretty quickly. We're currently down to about 100 meters per second. So let's let that continue to coast. The chutes are slowing us down reasonably nicely. Yeah, so we're currently getting further away from the monument. We have overshot and are landing somewhere on this side. That's okay. We can be within a couple kilometers of the monument. I don't mind that at all. So the question is, what is our terminal velocity with these chutes open, and can we repack chutes in KSP2? I don't actually know, but luckily the ship didn't get randomly destroyed this time. We are now officially further than I have ever been in this landing process, so we'll see how that goes. Also, I am noticing that these landing legs do not extend down below the engines, so that's awkward. Okay, so it looks like this is about terminal velocity right now. Cool. So let's bring that right on down. Actually, we can coast here for a little bit, now that I think about it. We're still 1.7 kilometers up. So we're going to be about 2 kilometers away from this monument. That's not too bad. Okay. Ground altitude. That's important to note. Okay. Seems reasonably fine here. I want to be slowly decelerating at this time. So somewhere around here. We're going to have to land on the engines, it looks like. That's mildly awkward. I should have looked at that, but that's my own fault. Okay, we'll put this in up at this point. And we're currently coming down at about 10 meters per second. We want to continue to decelerate that. Okay, about 7 meters per second. Kicking up regolith. 5 meters per second. 2 meters per second, and decelerating. And we have touchdown. Okay, so we're 1.7 kilometers away from our target location, right? There's no doubt about that. Now that we're here, I want to extend out our solar panels so that we have full batteries. And the question is, can we get ourselves back into orbit on what we have here? And can this engine fire? That's another question to ask at this point. It should be able to. It should be able to, I think. In theory, there's nothing attached to it now. So that should be reasonably fine, right? Now, our monoprop tanks are out here. We lost our docking port, so that is definitely problematic. Let's head back to the... Let's head back to the KSC real quick. Obviously, we have not finished our mission here yet, but I want to head back to the KSC, and specifically, I want to go into the VAB and see what we have for... Actually, we should go into R&D. Well, this is taking a hot moment to load. Okay, I'm going to save the game in case something horribly goes wrong at this point. There we go. We're going to hop into the R&D, and I want to check specifically out over this way to see... Okay, so this is enhanced coupling here. Stack decouplers, yeah. What I'm really interested in here is docking. So this is XL docking here. Out this direction, specialized docking, giving us Clampatron, Clampatron Inline, Clampatron Shielded, and the Mark II Clampatron. Okay. Tiny and large docking here, giving us Clampatron Junior and Senior. So I believe that's no. There are no grab arms. We can still make it work, though, in some really awkward ways. But we can still make it work if we need to do a rescue mission. We may or may not. I'm unclear on that as of right now. So I want to check in right now on what we've got here. So in terms of docking, payloads, coupling, yeah. So all we've got for a docking right now is a Clampatron docking port. Noted. Okay. So let's hop into the tracking station, which we can't do from here, but we can go like this. Let's head over to Duna. And what is this combined 10 in orbit? Oh, right. That's that tank that we left there. Okay, we're going to control default name 16, which is a perfect name. Okay. And now we want to have one of these guys EVA, right? We need to run some EVA experiments for sure. And we're going to do so. We're going to hop right on down over here. And from here, we definitely do want to do some of these. So I want to run the surface survey. That'll be 10 seconds. So this is in the Duna Midlands. That's fine. We're about 2 kilometers away from the monument. It's a bit of a walk, to be sure. But it's not too bad, all things considered. We'll run our crew observation. And then the question is monoprop, right? Like, do we want to walk there? Because we would have a hard time getting back up here unless we used monoprop. So that's okay. Experiment for that region already in storage. Okay. Let's head right on up over here. We actually need to turn our monoprop on. Okay. Let's hop in and store that. Then we're going to EVA again. Monoprop on. And I guess we'll fall down over here. That works. Okay. Now I'm going to turn monoprop off, and the question is, how long will it take us to run out over here? Well, we can do it in... I'm going to quick save in case anything horribly happens. We can do it in 4x. And it's going to take a little while. I think that's pretty clear. We could use some monoprop on the way out there, so we can jump, turn on our... Oh, come on. We can jump, turn on our monoprop about like this. Now, I'm having a hard time getting enough verticality to climb over this hill. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. We're going to need to walk over the hill, but once we crest the hill, I think it'll be absolutely fine to monoprop from there. But we absolutely need to climb the hill on foot. So that's a little bit awkward, no doubt about that. I'm going to cut this portion out, and we will be back once we are about to that monument. See you guys in just a moment. So here we are coming up on the monument, and we're still a little ways away at this point. And as you can see, I did burn some monoprop on the way over, but to be honest, most of the way I just walked. We did manage to shave off about 1 kilometer, but a lot of this has been uphill, which means, of course, that we're going to have a fairly easy time on the way back, in theory. Emphasis on in theory. But let's just move our way on a little closer. We are technically still in the Midlands at this point. And we can see this is quite the monument indeed. It is certainly a thing as the camera clips underground. Perfect. I also really like it with Ike right there. That's a really cool image. That's neat. So let's make our way forward here. And we're basically at the monument right now. Are we considered in the monument location yet? Okay, now we are. Perfect. So let's bring this back. And of course, in our science here, well, actually, let's close our research inventory. We have an experiment in progress. Okay. So that's all looking good. What experiment is in progress, though? Okay, there we go. Presumably that was our crew observations. Let's run the surface survey here, just to be sure. This is in a different biome, so I'm not sure if we can get the surface survey or not. But let's do that just to be sure. And then let's also run the crew observation, but I expect that to already be in storage as well. So that's okay, and then we're going to head on over to mission control. Okay, so we got that. Perfect. So let's head to mission control and get our ridiculous amount of science. We'll submit that. That's 2,000 science. Director, it's great to see you. You keep astounding us, building complex rocket designs. You got that right. Directing the flights, remembering that it was my birthday? Yeah, I definitely did that. That's for sure. Thank you for the pen, by the way. Classy move. The images of the new monument suggest we barely scratched the surface. Is it some sort of family tree? There's a Kerbal on it, for one thing, as well as another squid-faced being. But there are other branches, too. What used to be there? And that crown? Gorgeous. As expected, the monument is emitting a new signal that we'll need to decode. For now, I'd like to share a memo from the Institute of Old Stuff. The lead researcher is my old classmate, Levi. We only received a stern, real science-only memo from the Kerbal Astronomical Society, by the way. Their loss. I haven't read Levi's memo yet. I thought it would be exciting to read it together. I have more patience since I quit drinking coffee. These days, I drink coffee-flavored water. I mean decaf, but back to the memo. The memo reads as follows. My dearest Carrie, it seems fate and destiny have brought us together again. I've regretted not telling you how I felt for all these years. How strangely emotionally charged. But let's get to the good part. Here we are. We were able to locate a reference from a discontinued cereal brand called Kerbino's. Supposedly, it was too salty. Kerbina was the cereal's mascot, and she was spun into a middling children's show. In episode 1, the cereal goddess Kerbina is born as a beam of light into the dark depths of the ocean. Then one day, 2 children appear. Kerbina takes these little Kerbals on ocean adventures, but she warns them that going on land means she can't protect them. Eventually, the children wander off to explore the land, never to be seen again. The rest of the season is all product placements. That sounds about right. Well, director, should I find a box of Kerbino's? I've never had salty cereal before. I'm just gonna redact the less relevant parts of the memo. Ah, Levi. Sweet guy, very bad at staying on task. Get some rest, director. I think we're very close to a massive breakthrough. Well, it is not time for rest. We have work to do. This better signal is on... Oh, we need to set up a vessel with an antenna around Jewel. Oh my. Okay, so we're probably going to want to do some of these secondary missions. Yeah, for sure. We're going to want to get some of these secondary missions done. For the time being, I want to hop back to the tracking station because we need to head back to Duna. We need to get Bill back into his lander. So that is about 1.6 kilometers away. I'm going to turn RCS on, and we are going to jump. There we go. And we're going to gently float on back. Now, we can cover most of this with monoprop. I'm keeping an eye on our monoprop resources, but for the time being, this is reasonably good. Just want to have a little bit more speed here. There we go. We're having to do a lot of gravity counteracting. No doubt about that. But that's okay. We're going to have to manually climb this hill, but we can go most of the distance here. As you can see, this was mostly downhill. And we're even, I think, going to be able to get a significant part of this hill covered. I think we have a little bit of verticality right now. No, we are going slightly down. Very slightly. I don't know, maybe we will cover this hill. This was a lot rougher the other direction. No doubt about that. Yeah, we're going to clear the hill. Beautiful. So that looks great. We're just going to fly straight there. We're about 400 meters away right now. I'm going to stop doing the monoprop upwards because we want to start getting some downward velocity here. Okay. Let's counteract some of that downward velocity. And some of our forward velocity as well. Kerbal's bounce. Wow, he didn't even bounce. He just ate that velocity. What a champ. Okay. I see how it is, Bill. So let's lift off here, and we, of course, need to fly our way back inside. And then from here, we need to attempt to make our way back into orbit, but I don't know. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. So we'll grab on here, and we'll hop inside. We added new research reports. Of course, we don't need to have these legs extended. So this claims 6,000 meters per second. I don't know how real that is, to be honest. Also, I want to get Bill to EVA. Can we repack these? Oh, we can. Beautiful. Repacking these is very, very good. We don't actually want them to be armed at this point, but we do absolutely want to repack these. Do not arm them, but have them be repacked. That's one. I think that was only 3 that we just did. So that's disarmed, but repacked. Disarmed, but repacked. Disarmed, but repacked. And I guess disarmed, but repacked. Okay, cool. So we'll hop back in, and these should be moved into, I guess, maybe a new stage? Up here. And that should go all the way up this direction, like that. Okay, so now we're going to want to lift off, and we're angled off kind of in a 90-degree directionality already. This is going to be interesting. According to this, we have now 2,430 meters per second, which is enough to get orbital around Duna anyway. We are probably going to have to do some sort of a rescue craft. We've had a number of issues, but I'm going to attempt to use monoprop here as well. So we're going to use some of our monoprop and attempt to burn that off in helping ourselves lift off. So let's bring ourselves into a hold position for right now. That should be fine. And yes, this seems relatively okay for the time being. We should probably retract our solar panels for this liftoff. So we're going to get all of these retracted. This one is not retracting. There we go. Yes, I'm aware that we have a lack of stellar exposure. That is by design. And let's lift off and see how this goes. I'm going to turn RCS on. Just double checking that the keybind is the same. It is. And off we go. We're using monoprop to help. Why are we not holding attitude here? Okay. Just put us on up. What is this doing? Hang on. Why is this not holding on up? What are you trying to do here? You're going the wrong way. Very wrong way. Wow, this thing is very, very angry right now. I'm going to turn the RCS off for the moment. I wanted instability assist. It's not working. Okay, I guess we'll just do this for now. Monoprop on. We'll just have to manually fly this thing, I guess. It really doesn't want to be in a normal position. Okay, we have 20 kilometer apoapsis right now. I want to put us somewhere around here or so. But yeah, this thing really doesn't want to hold position at this moment. I'm having to manually fly it, so that's, you know, awkward. Okay, 40-kilometer apoapsis here. At this point, I want to be getting as much as we can horizontally. Okay. So we're using monoprop, but it's not, you know, the best amount of monoprop. Please hold position. That would be really nice if SAS was working right now. No doubt about that. Okay. So that's fine for the moment, I guess. And we're just going to bring this back over to the horizon. And we're only using monoprop at this point. We're in a coast phase anyway. That's reasonably fine. So I'm still utilizing monoprop here. We can see our apoapsis is dropping at this moment. That is almost certainly... Why is it doing this? Why are you turning? Be on prograde at least. This is not prograde. Control from here. Prograde is up this way. Why are you here? That is not surface prograde. That's not normal prograde. That's just weird. Okay, let's get some monoprop directionality up this way. So you can see here our monoprop is fighting our drag at least. And that's something. So we're just going to continue to do this. Now our electric charge is going down, which is not surprising. We're drifting off of this prograde marker. Okay. Our apoapsis is going up due to our monoprop. We're going to be ditching these tanks here, which is why I want to use this monoprop. But I have no idea what our SAS is doing right now. It is absolutely wild. Very, very strange. I'm just going to bring us over to the horizon at this point. And we can see it's about 2 minutes to apoapsis. Oh man, this thing really doesn't want to hold position. Just, well, it was being told to go back to here, I suppose. We're out of electric charge at this moment. And that actually helped. Like, we're holding attitude reasonably fine here. Not having electric charge is a good thing right now, I guess. Wild. Okay. Sure. We're just continuing to burn monoprop here. I'm going to take us up to 4x. Okay. And we're just getting additional horizontal speed. Now, where are we going? Okay. This is a really awkward area to go. Sure. I guess at this point, we should probably consider extending our solar panels. They're probably... Yeah, we shouldn't be in atmosphere at all now. So getting some electric charge is not the worst thing in the world. Let's bring it around to prograde as soon as we have some amount of electric charge. I have no idea what this thing is doing in terms of its attitude. It's very strange. Like, where is it trying to park us right now? It's just not. It's just letting us free tumble. Bring us to prograde, please. It's not attempting to make any changes right now. Bill, I'm going to need you to EV8. We're going to see if we can force this to do something a little different. Okay. That's not doing it. Well, it is, I think, maybe slowing down. SAS on prograde. Let's turn RCS on. Yeah, it's not trying to bring us to prograde. It definitely isn't. So we've got a bit of an issue there for sure. I'm going to ditch these tanks, though. Let's bring this on over. Let's ditch the tanks. No, I don't want that engine on right now. Ditch these side tanks. Whoa, that was a weird detachment. Okay. But we wanted to do that anyway. So 2255 meters per second, that's fine. We need to be burning prograde right about now, and I think that might have fixed the problem. Also, I don't know if that science grabber actually ever did anything. Yeah, that seems to have fixed the problem. No, it did not. Okay, we're gonna have to park right on this prograde marker, and we're gonna have to do this manually because our SAS is apparently completely broken. It might fix from restarting the game, but that's a little bit wild. So we're gonna have to continue to park here for the moment and get ourselves a fair amount of orbital velocity, a couple hundred meters per second here. Yeah, this really wants to drift downward. And we don't have any monoprop left since we ditched those side tanks, but yeah. I want to check, are we actually pulling fuel from this RS-80? We may or may not be. Okay, a little bit more speed here. This really doesn't want to sit on the prograde marker. Like, really, really badly. But I do want it to sit on the prograde marker, so there's that. Like, right on that prograde marker, please. So we'll achieve orbit here, which is a good sign. But we need to return back to Kerbal. And the question is, how can we do that in a reasonable time frame? We're going to have to go fishing for a reasonable cost for Delta V. We're going to have to go fishing for a pretty decent encounter. That's okay. So we are very, very close at this point to achieving orbital velocity. You can see our apoapsis is going up by a lot. We probably need to go for a radial at this point, a radial burn, which would be somewhere out this direction. Come on, you can turn. You can absolutely turn. But I want to be increasing our periapsis at... No, go this way. Boy, it really doesn't want to control. Okay, we're now technically orbital. This is good enough. We're going to call this good for now. I'm going to restart the game, and hopefully whatever is wrong here will be fixed. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Katogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.